What's up, everybody? Happy Black Friday. Welcome to the Real Estate Lab. We have a fun topic today. We're just going to talk about where to live in Austin. If you're planning on moving here in 2022, or if you already live here and you want to relocate within the area, we're going to do a quick round robin. Is that what it's called? Quick round robin and introduce ourselves. So why don't we start with JJ?
JJ, he looks a little frozen, so I'll start it off. Liberty Walker here, and I work with Realty Austin. I work out of the Central Austin location, but I represent the East Side.
Oh, you're funny. How about you, Randy?
My name is Randy White. I'm with a really small brokerage called Uncommon Realty, and I am located in Central Austin, 78757, Allendale, Rosedale, neighborhoods like that. But I get taken all over Austin as well.
Hey, everybody. I go by Ian of Austin everywhere on the internet. I am with Real Broker, and JJ should be back in a little bit. But while we're waiting, originally we were going to break it up and just do like an East versus West sort of thing. But we kind of talked about it, and I think just where to live in general and why people move to these different regions is really important. So why don't we start off with things like what's going on in real estate? Any new developments that are hitting certain pockets of the Austin area? Anybody?
Well, the big Taylor announcement, of course, was very huge.
That is big.
Right. I had 2 investors contact me for that.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who don't know, Samsung has formally announced that their new location is going to be in Taylor, Texas, which is Northeast.
So I'm going to pull up a map. I like sharing kind of where we are. So when we're talking about north, south, east, and west, north and south, we usually break it apart by the river here. And then east and west, we break it apart by I-35 here. So Taylor, Texas is in the northeast, right? Way up here. Yes, I say way up here. So really not that far. It's like 25 minutes, depending on where you're driving from.
East of Hutto, the mighty hippos, which we love. So just a stone's throw away from there. And, they have a company right now off of Palmer, which is still northeast, but there you go. Yeah. And so now they're going to be, what are they going to be building there, guys? Do you know? Like, what is it going to be? Factories or what?
So the one here, the one off of Palmer, where the heck is Palmer? Gosh. Yeah. The one off of Palmer is currently a chip. Isn't it chip manufacturing?
It is. And fun fact, my brother works there as a chemist.
What?
Oh, yes, wow. He does. So I get the insider knowledge on that one.
Well, that's cool. Well, so what I heard is when they were bidding for the land in Taylor. So here's what I know. Tesla and Samsung inked a deal to put for Samsung to put their camera technology in the Tesla vehicles.
Oh, wow.
Right. And we know that Tesla is also on the east side, right? It's going to be down along 130 down here, right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's not really too terribly far away for them to have a partnership.
And the way that you're drawing your mouse, is that a highway right there? What is that?
So this 973, I don't know if I've ever been on that road. I'm sure I have.
I think it's like a farm road, probably a little bit.
It does say that, right?
Where's 130?
Those are all
130 is right here.
Okay. So that's that really fast toll road that you can take, which I feel like that is going to be the best way to get between the F Formula One and Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Most people that are working, let's say they work at the new Samsung factory, whenever they create it, they'll start here, take 79, take 130, and it won't take them much time at all. In fact, watch this. Directions. Let's do Tesla Gigafactory. 37 minutes.
Dang.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, I feel like Hutto's going to get a lot of attention from this too.
I know.
I think I love Hutto. I have always loved. I love those little hippo statues that they have.
the triangulation. By the way, I'm assuming everybody introduced themselves.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Connection sucks. JJ Tolentino, Next Level Property Group at the in-laws. Okay, so jumping in, y'all are talking about Samsung. I think what's interesting is jobs, follow the money, but the triangulation between Tesla, Samsung, both of them, and Dell. and that Round Rock East, Hutto,
Mhm.
all the way down to Del Valley.
So
Because
Dell
there
is
are
right here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
So
are
that's a
we
good
thinking
point.
that maybe this is going to kind of force more homes? I mean, because there are a lot of just land. Elgin,
Yeah.
Some space out
they have
there. Yeah.
acre, 1 acre lots for some homes. There are multiple acres over there. I mean, lots of farming and
Could be a really good pressure release for sure.
Yes.
Pressure
gonna
relief.
need
I
needed.
love those words. That's a good
Yeah.
term.
push
Much
back
needed.
some.
Well, it makes
Get
sense.
that
Like when you
valve
look at this
pulled.
map, for people that aren't familiar or haven't spent a lot of time like looking at Google Maps, the green areas are nothing. Like there's just nothing out there, land, right? And
It's
so if it's
farmland.
like farmland or something, right?
But
And
There's
so
the
that means
cows.
established neighborhoods, yes.
a lot of this can be opportunity if it's purchased or can be purchased, right? And so when we're talking new developments, like Randy said with pressure release, that's the direction it kind of has to go.
Mm-hmm.
Has
And I
to.
feel like the focus and the boundaries have in the last year or two, Manor, Pflugerville, very heavy pressure there. So it's nice to have something beyond that to maybe help us continue to spread, which is bad in some ways, but also needed in other ways.
No, we definitely do. Especially if you look at where can we go west? I mean, we are
Yes,
really that lake is just pinning us
You
down.
can
There's
go
nowhere
there,
to
but it's
go.
premium land
Well,
with the hill
because a lot of
country
it's
and
resale.
water.
Right? To get a new construction over west, you're going to pay a little bit more, right? Also, you're landlocked. So if you choose west, west, northwest, you have to watch out for the lake. You can't just go jump over to Lago Vista.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that's quite a journey with having to go up and then back down. I mean, you're really separated from the city of Austin whenever you go into Lago
And that's
Vista.
the north side. The south side, I tell people it's for the ballers. It's accessible. It's on 620.
I mean, if
but
you're
again,
going to live in Austin,
premium.
I think you're going to be a baller no matter what. I mean, it kind of takes that kind of money to get in here
We
now.
doubled the premium on like median Dallas or Houston properties is what I've read.
Like I just helped a family purchase a new build in Lakeway in Rough Hollow, and she will be commuting to Tesla. So is this what this is?
That's actually why I pulled that up, because just because Tesla is going to be one of our larger employers and Samsung and all those on the east side doesn't mean you can't live on the west side.
I tend to discourage people from almost making that choice sometimes, though, just because right now you just have 22 or the Bee Cave Road or whatever, and then otherwise you're really trapped up there and stuck in that traffic going back and forth. So what did you do, Liberty, for your clients that are going to be making that transition?
Well, they actually signed and purchased the home before she even had a contract. She was thinking maybe Apple, maybe Tesla, and so she did make that choice. She's just she says she's gonna have to buy a fancy car to make up for all those commuting miles.
Didn't make that
and I was like,
decision
okay,
based
You can
on
go to sleep and then Tesla car, have Tesla driver to work. So.
exactly.
Yeah, that wasn't a decision based on being by the employer. That was just straight up, I want to live in Lakeway.
Yeah.
and really, I mean, Lakeway is so gorgeous. Like, I love it. The lake, the views, it's wonderful. So I think she'll just have to make it work out.
Yeah, it's good. Traffic sucks.
I mean, if you live in LA, you're commuting an hour. I mean, traffic there, really. So if you're coming from a situation like that, it's almost like, hey, you just cut your commute time in half.
That is very true. All the Californian phone calls that I get, and one of the first things I want to prepare them for is some of that traffic that you're going to hit if you're trying to live on that west side of Austin. And they're like, just tell me what the number is. And I'm like, 30, 45 minutes. And they just kind of like laugh me off. Like, I don't even, you have no idea what I'm going through over here. I'm like, oh, okay.
So I adjusted the time based on when traffic would be pretty heavy, like 4:30 in the afternoon. And so obviously the color coding is where you're going to hit the most congestion, but you can see right here, you might sit 10 minutes. But the range, hour and 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So your client, Liberty, just because she moved there doesn't mean she can't make it work. It depends on how often she's going to have to go into the office. That's kind of a hybrid.
I don't think it's full time every day. So I think that's true. Yeah.
And, is it worth it that you get to drive back to beautiful fantasy land up in Lakeway? Yeah.
I know. Get your podcast going. And I mean, especially for us too, like we drive A lot. Me, especially since I'm a buyer's agent, I'm running around constantly. And so, you know, I mean, you get in your groove, you kind of do what you have to do. And
Dinosaur D pointed out the arrival time. I was getting there, man. I was getting there. Those Lakeway properties better come with a free Audible subscription for life. So when I bought my Tesla, they actually gave me a year worth of free streaming. So you do get, I mean, you get to listen to whatever the heck you want.
well, there you go.
And sleep.
And what was the price point there?
No, you can't sleep.
Liberty?
That's not true.
That
What-
was,
what-
I feel like the lowest you could go is really in the 1 million is the lowest. And
That's
In Lakeway?
super lifestyle.
I feel like it
You
was
know,
just
this-
earlier this year, like 800, 900,000 too. So
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
jumped
wow.
up considerably. Do we know of anything that's coming west that's exciting for people? Like developments or anything like that?
there's just
I
No,
mean,
I was gonna say the Addy, but it's sold out.
There's that giant amphitheater. Have you seen that?
no.
One World Theater.
Get it. Let's
I
get
think
it
the
over.
West is just, I mean, it's just the lake and the
It's gonna
schools.
have its own
Yeah,
attraction.
schools, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dripping Springs
Is
is of course getting a lot of attention, but I think that starts to really pull away from Austin in general once you're there, which is the
Oh,
whole
yes.
point of Dripping Springs is to not be in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
I think it's like a schools versus entertainment development thing, right? Because to have both is pretty hard to pull off.
Yeah.
That's
Well, yeah, Dripping Springs, a lot of people move there and they cite the school ratings. We have to be careful how we say that, but yeah, they cite the school ratings for why they want to live there. But I guess it depends. Like you said, Randy, it's a different lifestyle. Okay, so if somebody wants
Families.
a very Austin lifestyle, where would they live? Other than just saying Austin, whereabouts?
If you want to be weird, you
Yeah.
go to South Austin or East Austin. That's where you
Okay.
get the funk and the vibes and the color.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So
I
I send
concur.
people that have a little bit of money. I send them to South Austin, and if they're on a budget, I tell them they can take a little bit of a risk, and we can go check out East Austin. But
Yeah,
even
Southeast.
And where east are you guys telling people to go these days? Like Montopolis, or I mean, what do you?
For me, it's always going to be based on how much money they want to spend and how much space they need, and then how they live. I always have that "how do you live" conversation with people because, you know, some people want to spend a lot of time walking everywhere, going to different restaurants and stuff. Some people have a, 5-person family and they need a large yard so the kids can run around. Some people don't like HOAs. Some people do. There's just so much to it. It's not an easy answer for me anyway.
I like 78704 because you got South Lamar, South Congress. It is a premium price point.
I mean,
It's
that's Travis
central.
Heights. And,
Travis Heights. It's cool. I think the
Um,
schools, depending on where you're at, but restaurants, food, shopping, all that
I mean,
stuff's pretty
and
cool.
and you're looking at like a 900 square foot townhome for like 1.2.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
the key right there. This
Yeah.
is a very hot area.
And you're taking the brunt of tourist activity. So all the festivals, all the events, you're going to be right
Mhm.
there in the mix of
The
it, which
park.
is a lot of fun for some people. And then like just something to kind of realize that you have visitors and neighbors there.
The thing is,
This
if you
is
live
tough to-
along this way, you don't have to you could just scooter down or get an e-bike over there
Oh my
to all
God.
the festivals. You have close access without having to deal with traffic necessarily.
And they do a good job about, neighborhood parking and trying to make it, but it is
try.
developing, and you never know if you purchase a lot over here in Travis Heights, who knows when you're going to have a high rise next to you.
Like a mid-rise or
you-
something.
So when you're talking to a client and you try to like assess their profile, who do you tell to move here? Or who do you mention this to?
I have a family who's interested. We're watching Travis Heights right now. It's just tough because prices just get so.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
tough to talk
there's some
about
beautiful
Austin
stuff out there.
and affordability. It's, you know,
So do you ever have people go further south? Bluff Springs, McKinney Falls, anywhere further? Buda, Kyle, do you ever have that? Where
I
people
send
say,
the people there that are wanting to be connected to the heart of Austin, but they just can't spend $1 million plus on a home. So we go south, and actually South Manchoc is getting really cool lately in the last
it
year
is.
or two.
They've
That's
had a lot.
having a really fun 78704 vibe. that's just going farther and farther down. So now you're just within 5 minutes of Zilker, or 10 minutes, I suppose. But now your house payment is just 800,000 instead of $1 million.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree with that too, because South Congress goes further. I feel like if you're
Mhm.
central, it's more SoCo, but then you kind of have this South Congress after the highway going a little further south, but it does extend.
I want to do this to Manchac. People that aren't from around here, I don't know why you say it Manchac, but that's how you say it.
I still mix it all up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like to say it different every time to keep people guessing.
Yeah, just throw people off. They're like, he keeps saying it differently.
So yeah, that's not too bad. 20 minutes and 25 minutes.
I also am able to send families to South Austin because, there's a big focus on schools. And I think South Austin has done a good job both in public and private sections of offering. There's lots of places for people to look at and see what the right fit is going to be as far as that. Whereas in East Austin, it's not as plentiful of options for both public and private. North Austin is definitely doing a good job with that. But South Austin gives you the funk, the vibes, the good times, but also able to plug your kids in somewhere that you were able to do good research on and feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, there's some decent schools. I think overall, Austin ISD as a whole is kind of on the fence, especially when you compare it to like a Lake Travis or Eames or Round Rock. But you could find your little clusters of elementary, middle, and high school. And
also after this year of COVID kind of running rampant on the poor school systems, it's very easy to transfer right now, but that could always change as soon as next year. But yeah, you can hop schools.
That's huge. Say that one more time for clarity for everybody who's listening on Spotify.
Yeah. So whenever you move into a neighborhood and you research the school that you are tied to and you don't really care for it, right now it's easy to transfer over to a different school within that same district. That was not the case a few years ago. You could always do it, but it was difficult and there was lists. So right now with so many people not being in the public school system for COVID reasons, it's easy.
There's space. Right. I'm hoping that kind of trickles down into next year because that's when my daughter will start kindergarten. We want to transfer.
Yes. Yeah.
So I have to comment on these comments, right? For the people that are listening on podcasts, Dinosaur D, first off, is not true. Ian is so rich, he buys a new Tesla every year just to get a free subscription. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Nobody would do that. Santa Rita Ranch thoughts. So Dondi asks that.
Going up north.
We're going to talk about that in just a sec. But before we do that, let's talk about the KB so Dinosaur D says KB is building in McKinney starting from around 360, quite affordable. What are your thoughts on that?
I had a really good year with KB homes this year. I mean, the homes themselves are budget friendly, be aware of that for KB homes, I would say, but they honored their contracts, which was not a lot to be said about some other home builders out there. And they allowed us to close around the time that we were supposed to. So I'm in support of what KB provides for allowing people to afford living around Austin. So, and McKinney Falls is obviously a really neat area. I like that.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. But I really like what you said, the honoring their contracts. That's been kind of a big topic of discussion, and honoring their relationships with their clients and the realtors, their realtor partnerships. That's huge. I mean, in my opinion, that's pretty huge, right? They say what they're going to do and then they do it, or do what they can't, do their best, which is great.
I think that's good value.
It is. McKinney Falls State Park. If you've never been to Austin and you want to have a nice hiking or biking, mountain biking adventure, McKinney Falls is gorgeous. A beautiful place to go and spend some time. And yes, there are actual waterfalls. They're not huge. It's not like Costa Rica or anything, but they're pretty, really pretty.
And on the flip side, if we're going up north, 300 is like Gerald, which is
Okay,
like
so let's talk about the price point. So you were seeing 360-ish, Randy? You think that's
over in McKinney Falls area? I would say that's pretty good because it was just like mid 2020 that I was helping people shop for the high 200s there. So, just a small $100,000 jump in prices, what we all experienced this past year.
A little 100,000.
But I like it. You plug into Austin really quick from there. That's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But right now it's going to change obviously over the years, but right now it's a very deep country setting. It's very quiet out there, long pasture fields. It's relaxing, Kenny Falls is going to help preserve some of that because obviously that can't be developed. And that's a really neat park, just like what Ian was saying.
And that state park is so beautiful.
Mhm.
It's really, really pretty.
Yeah, the fact that it's a state park and has, federal protection, I think is going to be kind of a big deal for a lot of people. Nobody can change this, right?
And then
It's
look
gonna
at the
stay
proximity to the airport. How convenient,
Oh, yeah.
Airport
Oh,
proximity
yeah.
is huge.
Well, and go back to Tesla, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really close. So I see that being a popular area for people that want to like hang out outside, spend a lot of time in nature, and easy access to 35, 183, and 130.
Mhm.
And Onion Creek, we've really seen, this past year, they've really developed that area that was once all those floodplains that we were speaking about and discouraged people from going there. Now they've really worked on some retaining walls, and there's some beautiful new homes there as well.
Yeah, I like Onion Creek too. So let's there was another one with Santa Rita Ranch. So let's jump north and talk about north. So let's start by saying, like, look at the distance when you're zoomed out, Austin to Santa Rita Ranch, right? So we're actually going to do Santa Rita.
And I love the name, Santa Rita Ranch.
Okay. This is the same distance as it was to get to Lakeway, or same time frame, right?
And I mean, you get the Metro rail that zooms in, right?
Rail. That's a great point.
This is without traffic too, right?
Well, and there's a lot of growth this direction as well. We hear a lot of things about Leander and Cedar Park growing. And so the next green area is Liberty Hill.
There's 2 domain projects coming up around there too. Indigo Ridge, and there's another one that I can't think of.
Northline.
Okay.
Yep. Indigo Ridge, Northline, and Leander Springs.
It's a lot of attention in North Austin.
And South Bell, that new South Bell development.
South. Yep. So what happens is I end up with a lot of investor clients that'll come in and say, hey, I want to purchase something, and maybe it'll be a primary now, but in the future, I might want to rent it out or something, right? And so if they're either focusing toward the Tesla area most of the time, or they're focusing in this area, and it's just because of that thought, all of the growth. And Apple, very good point. Bring that up again, JJ.
That's like an Apple corridor.
Mm-hmm.
And the schools, pretty cool schools. Leander ISD, Georgetown a little bit.
And trees. And
very easy access to the lake. I feel like that doesn't get discussed enough about Cedar Park and everything.
Yeah,
you're just getting to the lake in 15 minutes from that space too. So it's a
that's
budget
a very,
friendly
very
way
good point.
to have access to the lake life if you can't afford Lakeway and everything else.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That's very true. I mean, everything that you need, Whole Foods, Hop Dotty, we have all of that stuff up there too. And so it's not as rural as maybe Dripping Springs.
Oh, that's very true. I could definitely see that. I was going to say that the Apple campus area, so like Rattan Creek is the neighborhood and everything. I feel like they've done a good job of course, embracing the big box stores, but I still find a lot of really great mom and pop Austin spots too.
Yeah, that's a good blend right there.
I like it. What do you think about Santa Rita Ranch specifically? So Dondi says, officially in contract as of last Friday. Congratulations on their home in New York, and they are on their way to Austin, Texas. Very cool.
Come on down, Dondi.
Santa Rita.
For the moment, looking to rent a house, Cedar Park, Domain, Pflugerville. Those are all very different areas.
A little northeast, a little northwest, a little North Austin.
Yeah. So you've got Cedar Park, Pflugerville, Domain. Right here.
Maybe the Domain would be like the middle for you. Downey.
There it is. Look.
Kind of.
I vote for the Domain area.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to depend on your price point, but yeah, I think that gives you a good, a good ability to go to either side, like everywhere in Austin from there.
Mm-hmm. And you can kind of, if you're renting, it'd be nice to kind of get a sense of that area.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Ian, to answer your Santa Rita question, grab it. Buy now. Immediately.
So originally when they had announced Santa Rita, and I remember bringing people up there thinking, man, this is a little far out, but you're getting a house for $250,000, right? Mm-hmm. And now, and they were mentioning they were going to build 6,000 homes. And I just thought, that's massive. They just recently announced that they're going to do a full 10,000 homes.
Wow.
In Santa Rita Ranch.
Would y'all say the value is like on the fringes? We keep going towards the farmland. Is that worth surfing? Or do you think too much can be built and it'll take away from their value?
Oh, that is a
I
deep
think
question, JJ.
Did
I'm
they
going to
get
let
in the landlocked
Randy please answer it.
areas?
You answer
Well,
first.
I think we have several years of that kind of pressure release that I was mentioning earlier. So I think for now it's a key place for just normal income people to have some middle income housing options, to still be within 45 minutes of a city. And I think we have a long ways to go before we've finally filled that void back up. So maybe the next year or two, I feel like it's an easy answer to say no, but soon after that can easily become what Houston is, which is a huge spread of middle income housing.
That might be a while, I
Away
think.
from the center.
I like that.
Good answer. I'm with that. You heard it from Randy. Grab it. Grab it while
How
it's
about
hot.
you, Liberty? What do you think?
Dinosaur D, is there anything ever for sale in the Domain area? Apartments? Well, you're thinking about maybe like what's that little pocket right there?
Not immediate Domain, but around it.
Yeah, I mean, what I can't, for some reason
Like Schofield Farms is around there.
Schofield's good. That's a good one.
What about Runberg?
What about
or
Rumberg?
Duval? I mean,
Let's keep going. What else you got?
It's right by the Domain, but there's a lot of gentrification. I mean, that's the word.
Yeah,
for Runberg and the Domain.
The soccer place is over there. I mean, there's some there are neighborhoods, and there are transitional neighborhoods too, where you can scoop a moderately priced property. You might just have to give it a little TLC.
Yeah.
I find Millwood to be a really big
Millwood. That's what I'm thinking of.
Millwood's hot. Yes.
I have both families and investors trying to get in there. It's very crowded and popular, and bidding wars, and the homes are old and need updates. And so I start getting really nervous whenever we bid on them. But it makes sense because you're right next door to the Domain, and you're going to be within 5 minutes of there. House hackers are trying to do that too. Schofield Farms, I agree with Ian, is a really almost forgotten space. Those are some nice like 2000s homes that you can plug and play. The inspection's not going to be scary. So yeah.
And Millwood schools are good too.
Yeah, Millwood schools are good.
Dundee, $2,000-ish a month, but a house for a car garage.
Oh, Gracie Woods. I'm sorry, one more for the Domain. Gracie Woods is also really
my breaker.
Gracie's good.
And Walnut Creek's over there. It's awesome.
So they're building a lot around. I spent a lot of time at Walnut. Well, until I broke my hand. But as you see, I got my cast off finally.
Oh, good job. Did that happen at Walnut Creek?
Christmas came early.
Yeah, that happened. That didn't happen at Walnut. That happened south. That was at I don't know, somewhere down here. 290. Where's 290? It was.
The bike trails are more dangerous. No, I don't know.
I don't know where it was. It was something. It was by that Best Buy over there. 71. There you go.
Well, fun stuff, you guys.
There you go. This thing. All right. So let's see. What else do we have? So if someone were to buy, let's look. Let's answer some of these. So Dondi says my Pulte floor plan in Santa Rita Ranch is now $472. They keep raising the price. Was $434 when I looked in July, and it's the Riverdale floor plan. So that means that you are under contract. Your house should be worth more than the $434 according to the market data, and you are basically getting it for $50,000 less. It's great. Good. Good job.
Well, hopefully he's locked in the contract and they're not doing that raising.
Yeah.
That comment was a little bit confusing. I hope you're still under contract at $534.
Who wants to read this?
Says my current scenario, my wife and I are 26, married, no kids, work from home, about to go into contract with Ashton Woods and Pflugerville, but also considering Bryson and Leander, which is better for us.
Oh, I love that question. JJ, you want to start?
If I had to put my money where my mouth is, I like the triangulation with Tesla. It was kind of like Tesla or Apple. Actually, Ian kind of taught me into this. He was like,
JJ's biased because he just bought a home in Pflugerville.
Yeah, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I just wanted to be by Tesla.
That's true.
Oh, also,
Randy,
my
what do you
wife
think?
works in Pflugerville as a factor, but what do y'all think?
I think that if Brendan likes, more nature and maybe that route, I would say Leander is fabulous. If you're going Pflugerville, you might be closer to some industrial stuff. But then again, some people like that. You guys don't have any kiddos, so maybe you're not about. That's what I think. What do you think, Randy?
I was going to lean into what you're saying too. Leander is going to give you really great access to you're going to be closer to the hill country, camping, outside, good trails. And then Pflugerville and that area, I think gives you some more square footage. You're going to now be closer to some really hot development announcements. So your appreciation should most likely, be going along with that. You're going to get great appreciation no matter where you put your roots down in Austin, but certainly Pflugerville and that east space is getting a lot of news right now. So if you're an outdoorsy person, I would take a look at Leander. If you're not, if you don't really take it or leave it, then Pflugerville is probably a pretty great spot to put some roots down right now.
I can't even fathom 7 billion that Samsung. That's
17
we
billion.
heard the 1 billion Apple, 1 billion this, but the
17 billion dollars. It is
I'm even more
unrealistic number. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Wow, guys.
So I look at it like the proximity to downtown. If that matters to you, Pflugerville is closer to North Austin, like to where the Domain area is, and even to downtown. But it's also, driving through. There's a lot. I don't know. I don't like spending time driving personally unless there's a lot going on. That's just how I feel, right? So I drive through a lot of cow pastures every time I'm in this area for now.
That can happen.
And it's the same thing. Like I was in Elgin yesterday for our Friendsgiving celebration, and it's a gorgeous area house and everything, appreciation up the wazoo, but just the getting there, I'm like, I'm not excited for it. I'm not saying that I'm excited to drive anywhere for 45 minutes. When I go to Leander, I would say you have a couple of those projects that Randy, you had mentioned. I think we've all talked about it multiple times. You've got a project right here, and there's just a lot of shopping, a lot of things built up already. And then the other thing that we haven't touched on yet, which we try to keep open and honest about on this channel, is we have tax rates. So depending on where you are in Pflugerville, your tax rate is going to be lower threes. High twos, low threes. And in Leander, you're probably looking at less than 3 in almost every
I was thinking about that because I did eat that. But then I was like, then the prices kind of figure itself out. Like it'll be a little cheaper. I don't know.
I'm just saying, keep in mind, some people, that's like a big deal, right?
Oh, yeah. Because
the tax rates,
yeah.
How much are your HOAs? What are the floor plan sizes when you're comparing the two? And then the school ratings. I think schools are pretty they're both highly sought after. Would you say that?
So Leander ISD versus Pflugerville ISD?
Well, let's specifically say the new schools in Pflugerville. Let me say it that
there
way.
you
go. Yeah.
I think they're like this for people.
That's the competitiveness. Any other final words, guys? We're out of time here.
Oh, sure.
We are at time.
Gosh.
Yes.
East, north, south, west.
JJ, what are you thinking?
I'll go back to the fringes. I think it's some value to surf. I'll put it like that.
Yeah. And I think, Brendan, you brought up a really fabulous point. You're thinking of moving here. You're coming to rent for a little bit to get a sense of where you like. The different areas are all so different. So if you haven't lived here, definitely come and do some exploring before you jump on a spot.
Yeah, I would probably say a lot of the time when I get a call from somebody and they haven't explored Austin before, highly encourage them to come visit and let me at least tour you around the different areas, because every section has a different personality. And then if you do have the luxury of renting for a little bit, that's also good. But the market will take off from you if you do that. West Austin is going to be a big focus on the hill country and outdoors and getting out there. East and South Austin is a lot of color and vibe and fun. And North Austin is a lot of traditional suburbs that give you some really great security and good family activities.
Well, you summed that up like a champion realtor. That was good.
Yeah, otherwise it's like
Wow.
also
Oh
it
my
feels like
gosh,
a what
you
like
know the whole thing.
east and
All
south.
good.
And I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Guys, it's always a great time. Fridays are so fun. Get out there, buy your, your deals, steal your deals for Black Friday. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. See you next week.
All right,
Thank
y'all.
you,
Thanks for
everybody.
tuning in.
Bye.